Hello everyone and welcome to another Hallow Caesar review. Tonight I am reviewing Witches of the Revolution, a cooperative deck building board game by M. Craig Stockwell and produced by Atlas Games. It is for 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, and says on the box 30 to 60 minutes, but I would plan on an hour to play this game. Unless the luck doesn't go your way and you end up having a shorter game. So, what is in the box of Witches of the Revolution? First off, the box is a very nice box, well built. It has a very nice insert, actually, where you can keep all the little tokens. There's a spot so you can keep them all separate. You have the board in here with a couple of tokens that also fit in the insert for the moon track, and one over here for your liberty track. Other than that, you have lots of different cards. There are event deck cards, and I haven't sorted these out really yet. I haven't played with the hard ones yet because it can be challenging without the hard ones in there. So, but then we have the kind of the main deck there, and then you have the starting deck for the different players. So, the gameplay is pretty simple. Players are going to take 15 cards that have the same picture on them. So you'll start with these 15 seeker cards that have different symbols on them. You'll see the green pot there, the red star, etc. And then each of the cards will have a little star on them, as well as a cost and currency. We'll show you that in just a second. But yeah, you have some objective cards. There's some good replayability. This is just the end of a solo game that I played. It came out on top. One with the maximum points here of 7. So it turned out well for me. But it's a very interesting theme, first off. You're witches and you're trying to make sure things go your way for the revolution. And anyway, it's kind of bizarre. It's a little strange, but the gameplay is actually pretty interesting. So like I said, there's some variability because each of the games you're going to have some of these objective cards, and some of them are, they're pretty strange. So resurrect Benjamin Franklin, depose of the British governor. So there's some interesting ones, and there's a few different ones for each type. So you're going to you'll see these symbols along the bottom, a variation of how many types of symbols are needed for each of the cards. And then as you complete these objectives, which you win the game once you've completed all 4. That's the objective there, to finish all of the 4 objectives. But when you complete one of these, you'll be able to, one player may freely reshuffle their coven discards and then draw to a full hand, which is very, very nice. But anyway, that is the idea behind it, and you will utilize the different witches in your coven deck to take care of different events, which help you meet your objectives, and you also recruit different witches to add to your deck. And that's kind of the basic. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of all the different rules, but the game is fairly simple. On your turn, basically you have a hand of cards, and then you're going to utilize the different symbols on your cards to either complete one of these events, Or you can utilize these cards with the different star values to banish them. You'd have to actually discard them. So let's say, so this Seeker has a value of 1. And you'll also see as these cards come out, they get modified, so reduce cost by 1 star. So this actually just costs 1. I can banish this. I will never see that again. Goes into the discard, and I would be able to get this card. And any card that you recruit that turn then goes on top of your draw deck. So you'll draw that next time. You have a little discard in front of you. But basically the different cards, you're trying to get certain symbols, either 3 purple or 4 blue, or 3 yellow and 3 blue, or 3 blue. It's not both. It gives you some options here. But then there's special cards here. So like this one here has the Liberty thing on it. So if it gets to one of these Liberty spaces, I have to progress this Liberty track down 1. And as it gets lower, it makes it more and more difficult. And if it gets all the way down to here, you lose. And the way that you move that back up is if you complete these events, you're able to actually move the Liberty marker up 2 spaces when you complete those events. If you have the I forget what they called, but the cards here with a pistol on it, which I'm probably not going to be able to, oh, there we go. So if you have one of these and it progresses into one of these spaces, then you have to banish, you have to choose one of these and put it in the discard. Which is pretty interesting. The payment and putting things in the discard is interesting because what it does is it whittles down your deck, and every single time you have to reshuffle, you have to progress this token on the moon track, which makes it progressively more difficult. You're going to need more and more symbols. So now you're going to need 3 more symbols to complete any of these events. So now you're going to need 6 purple, and you're going to need 7 blue to complete that. In a multiplayer game, you're able to help. Other players can help with one of their cards by giving one of the symbols on that card in addition to try to complete one of these events. So you have there's teamwork involved there. And that's basically it. But the quality of the cards are good. There's no like linen finish, but they are very nice, good quality cards. The event deck, there's some pretty cool artwork. But yeah, I think it plays really well. It proposes, there's some interesting choices involved with, again, getting rid of cards from your deck to get more powerful cards. Also, these very powerful ones that have 6 of the symbols on them. Again, they cost a lot, and they also have something that you can do. You can banish this at any time to remove any objective marker. So you banish it, and I don't have any up here, but at the beginning of the game, you're going to stack these tokens according to what the card shows. So there'd be 4 of these and 3 green ones, 3 skulls and 3 moons, etc. And as you complete one of these events, it doesn't matter which symbols you utilize, you can now take either a purple or a blue from the objective cards up here. You can take one of those tokens. Let's imagine this was blue, and you can take that token away from there. Once you clear all the tokens from this objective, it's complete. You can now do the special action. One player that may immediately recruit a face-up recruit card at no cost, and then you flip it over, show that it's complete, and continue to try to get the others. And so yeah, that is Witches of the Revolution, a very interesting themed game. The mechanics and everything of the cooperative game here, I think, work really well. Again, they've included a bunch of different types of events. that you can change the difficulty of the game. So, there's hard cards, and then there's all these little symbols on here that help you organize so you can actually switch out a certain number of cards for hard cards or things like that. You can completely randomize it. So there's a lot of variability with the events as well as the different objectives that you're going to go through. Other than that, anyway, I enjoyed the game. The theming for me is a little strange. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but the game itself is fun and I enjoyed it. So that is how Lou sees it.